I probably started going probably my second or third week of freshman year. So past year I've been going most nights except for Fridays nowadays.
So night prayer was started as a way for mystics and Catholics who live in the monastic life to prayer continuously. So a big part of the religion is sacrifice, and in doing so, the Liturgy of the Hours allows people to conform their schedule, praying at certain times, to a calendar outside themselves. So that's a way of worship and a way of sacrifice, and we see that especially in night prayer.
You come in a nice dimly lit room, chairs all around. There's, like, obviously in a church you have two sides of it. When it begins, the priest starts off with like a simple prayer, like just letting everyone know, like, all right, we're entering into prayer. And then we step in with an examination of conscience. Yeah, we are opening hymn, usually pertaining to that date, like whatever day of the week it would be. And then we start in with an antiphon, which is pretty much just like an overarching like theme for the whole night. And then we'll begin with like the verses. So one half of the room will say the first stanza of the verse, and the second half of the room will say the second half of the verse. And then there's a short responsory where you just kind of, like, through reflecting on the day and praying upon these words, you just kind of like remind yourself to give yourself back to God. Then you begin with sort of like a closing prayer, and then it kind of halts. You go to petitions, so just everyone around the room says something that they're like want the people to pray with them for. So it could be like, oh, for my grandma, pray to the Lord, and then everyone will respond. Then after that, wrap it all up, closing prayer, and then you sing a song for Mary.
Night prayer, like many other liturgical practices, changed dramatically in the 60s because of a church council called Vatican II. It was made to bring the church into the modern world, and prior, night prayer and the rest of the Liturgy of the Hours, and even the Mass, was done in Latin.
Practicing my faith, since like I could remember, parents probably took me and my siblings to Mass since we could like speak and scream and interrupt the procession and everything like that, right? So yeah, Catholic grade school all my life. Mass on Sundays kind of guy. Pray a rosary every once in a while. Pray whenever I needed something or whatever I was like stressing out about something, you know, like all kids do when they're raised Catholic. And then yeah, through high school is when I really started like kind of find myself in my faith. And then when I was graduating high school, I was like, okay, I'm like perfect in my faith, you know, like I know it all, like I'm all good, like all this is like I know it to be true. And then I got to college and that whole thing kind of fell apart. And then yeah, just slowly been building it back up. It breaking down in college, it was kind of like college was like the ultimate moment where it was like everyone that I had known kind of like fell off and stopped going to Mass because their parents didn't make them anymore. They didn't have to go for school days or anything like that. And then yeah, it was like that the struggle of being like, okay, do I still want to do this? Because like I could just very easily, like 11 a.m., 7 p.m. comes around, I can just be like, no, forget it, I got too much homework to do or whatever. But like trying to stick through that and making the time a week, like every week and stuff like that, or every day even, to go and enter into something else, I think is what I have come to know is like practicing my faith. Something that I think night prayer has really helped me grow in, as the lines sort of blurred as I became more and more spiritual in my faith and less like structuralized. Like I would always question like, why do I have to go to Mass if I'm already talking to God like most of the time anyway. But the night prayer is just something that's like, it's something that's like, it's easy. And like, so not that Mass is hard to go to or anything like that, but night prayer is just like 15 minutes every day or 6 out of the 7 days of a week that I can go to. I know exactly when it's going to start. I have nothing really going on around that time. And it's just something that I could go to and I can kind of rely on to be like, okay, so I'm still like relying on the structure of like Catholicism a little bit. I think it brings like a certain, like just like a reminder like throughout the week to my faith. It's not just living Sunday to Sunday, like as a Catholic person, because anyone can talk to God, but something, maybe I'm wrong, call me a heretic, but I feel is in our faith is the structure that is there. And I think it's a really nice prayer. Like I had never experienced anything like it before. The way that it's done, like set up throughout the week, and like it changes like slowly throughout the week is like the whole idea of it. It's very interesting. And a certain way here, there's a certain sense of like community and fellowship for sure that exists in night prayer. Like I know right after night prayer, everyone goes stands in the back, and we'll talk for like sometimes like 30 to 45 minutes. And it's just like nice to have that kind of thing to end the day with, just after you're praying with all these people. It's very nice. I used to just walk in 9:14 some nights, last minute, walk in, pick up a book, sit down. Second night I walked out that door. So I was just strictly in it for the prayer. And then now definitely shifted to like being around, hanging around, talking to people. So that's definitely a part of the reason why I go now is for the fellowship. Past semester, like I felt like I was being a better, like, not Catholic, but a better like child of God, like a better servant of God, just all around being more loving and feeling better. But also like I'd for sure been drinking more than I ever had, definitely partying and like doing a lot of other stuff way more than I ever had. Like kind of, it felt like I was like pulling, like the sides were like getting further away almost. But then like I kind of took a step back and looked at them like, this isn't too healthy. There's a line in the song, I love music, praying with music. It says, living lives in two places, where's my soul too thin? And I could definitely like kind of feel something like I was just like stuck in like these routines that I was living. And then it was like I was just living like in the back of my mind, I say. It was like I wasn't really thinking about anything. I was just go to night prayer 9:15, pray for like 30 minutes, talk with people for 40 minutes. Friday night go, drink until I fall asleep, wake up, mass. You know, that was like kind of how I was living, and I was like, it was like kind of like an awakening almost. And I don't know if it was just through prayer, personal thought, a little bit of meditation here and there, just in general, like coming to realize like I'm not sure, like I think I'm being better in both aspects, but I don't know if I'm really being like true to who I am, because like this isn't me, and like this obviously isn't me. So like it was the kind of idea of like being myself, like bringing everything together. It was something that I really tried to bring to fruition this past semester, and something that I hope to bring more and more, being more open about